Welcome back to my channel. My name's Sharlene Maveric. Welcome back to my kitchen as well. Today, I'm gonna cook for you St. Louis cut spare ribs. I'm gonna take you through the entire process of how I prep and season them up. Then after that, what we're gonna do is take it out to T'Challa. We're gonna fire it up with some lump charcoal. We're gonna show you how we manage the heat, cook these ribs, wrap them up, rest them, slice them up, and we're gonna show you the finished product. So stay tuned for this long form video. Sit back and get your popcorn. Oh man, you about to enjoy yourself. All right, so we're back. Now, this is a beautiful cut of St. Louis spare ribs. Normally what I like to eat is the full spare rib, which has the rib tip on it. You've seen me do that in the past video. I'll link to that in the description. But what we have today is already pre-cut. I think this is a Swift brand. We got it from Kroger. So when you order some spare ribs from Maveric BBQ, we try to get those real meaty ribs. You see how meaty this is? Oh man, this is going to feed a whole bunch of people. You don't want those little baby ribs that you find. You know, I like Smithfield, but a lot of the times they don't have really meaty ribs. So there's a trade-off. There's a debate that goes around. Do you buy the whole spare rib or do you get the St. Louis cut? Now, here's a little history on that while I start the prep process. And I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to trim this up. Now, the first thing you want to do when you start trimming ribs is you want to see this little skirt right here. This is going to burn up. This is going to be a pitmaster snack, but it's going to burn up. So what we want to do is we want to start trimming this off. And today I got my little friend here, Blackstone, and we're going to trim off this skirt. So I'm going to teach you how to do this the right way. I told you I had bad habits in the last one, cutting towards me. So I'm going to show you how to do cutting away from you so you don't have an accident. And you come back and say, Charlie told me to cut the other way. No, I didn't do that. No, I told you not to do that. Not to be like me, be better than me. But all right, so let me tell you about the spare rib and that whole debate. So the spare rib is more cost effective if you buy it whole. Sure. You pay for the butcher to cut the spare rib down into a St. Louis cut. This is pioneered in St. Louis. That's how I got the name. All right, so what you lose is a whole bunch of meat from the rib tip. Now, the trade-off is that I found, if you buy the whole spare rib, you might not get as meaty as a rack of ribs versus if you get the pre-done, already cut St. Louis cut. And that's not always the case. It's by brand. I really like Swift brand, and if you can find some from Restaurant Depot or something like that, you know, Walmart's great and everything, but it's for backyard. But if you want to do a little catering and stuff like that, make sure you give your people some really good meaty ribs. It's worth the price. So what I did right there is cut off the ends of these ribs. Now you're saying, why am I doing that? Well, I don't want these ends to burn up. We want to maximize the quality of meat that we're giving people, and you know, this could be a good eating rib too. It's not going to be competition trim or anything like that. I'm not going to be meticulous with it, but we want a good quality. Mouthfeel is important, very important to everyone. So all these little things that are pulling away easily from the main rack of ribs, take that and trim it away. It's going to burn up, yes. So here's the thing. Here's another debate: membrane or no membrane. That is regional. A lot of restaurants don't pull the membrane off because it's not efficient. They don't have a guy that's there just sitting there pulling membranes off all day. I mean, maybe some do, but it takes time. They may score the membrane, but most people at home, and if you have a smaller quantity, what you want to do is you want to take the membrane off. Now, baby back ribs are a little bit finicky and different how to do the take the membrane off, but For the most part, this is what you do. With the spare rib, it should be more forgiving. You take your little butter knife or a spoon, something that's not too sharp. You don't want to cut straight through this thing. You want to come up under that membrane. All right, so you got that little lever right there. This is your little handle. This is your little handle. Make a little handle friend. Take your paper towel. What's a paper towel for, Charlie? Now you're gonna grip this thing because it's slippery. All right. Then you, to the best of your ability, you look like a champ or a failure. Just depends. You might not come off in one fell swoop. You try your best to ease that membrane off. Ease all that membrane off. And take your time with it. And if you take your time with it, it might be friendly with you. It usually is not friendly. It doesn't want to come off sometimes. Especially in one fell swoop. So I'm going to have to fight with this thing. So, and if you're so inclined to do so, get back up under that thing with that knife again. Get you more leverage. Don't be ashamed. Like, who cares, man? What, are you trying to be a hero? You're not less of a person if you can't get this membrane off in one fell swoop. Great champions of barbecue have failed to get this off in one fell swoop. Be easy on yourself. Take your time. This is why they don't dedicate that much time to do that at restaurants. See how much time it's taken? And a good one, a real good butcher type guy is going to go through them pretty quickly, but man, it's not efficient. So they score them. Some people leave the membrane on, don't score it at all. So this is a little bit more than membrane. This is a little fat. So I'm going to take this, move my knife over here. I'm going to take that and turn this up a little bit because this is loose. One thing about really meaty ribs is sometimes got a lot of fat on there. And some fat is great. Hard, thick fat that has a hard time rendering. You know want. All right, so what are we over here doing today, babe? Cooking these ribs, right?
I see.
Yeah, it's looking good so far. Let me go ahead and put these over in this bag here. I want to discard all the trash. So that skirt was so small that I trimmed off. I'm not even going to worry about putting that on the pit. Make a pitmaster snack.
I'll take out the trash for you.
Oh, thanks. All right, cool. Appreciate that. So, what do we do now? Wipe your hands off a little bit. Get you some paper towel right by you so you don't have to keep touching stuff and all that. We're going to stay with one protein, so we're not contaminating, cross-contaminating. What we do want is to rinse our hands off a little bit, so when we're touching these seasonings, you don't get all gooey and nasty, all right? So let's do that real quick.
Definitely don't want meat juice on the seasoning.
No, that's nasty. It's nasty, that's nasty. Nobody want that. It's good weather outside today, you know. Yeah. All right, so what I like to do, I'm gonna get a little fancy with this. A lot of people use their hands to slather mustard, and mustard is to act as a binder. It's for your seasoning. I put it on both sides. Some people say it doesn't add any flavor. It has vinegar in it. It does something for tenderizing during the cook. And I use this this brush. You're like, man, you're not using your hand? No, I like to have this thing super even. I found if you use your hand, first of all, it gets all over your hand, and you have no benefit of using your hand versus just using this brush. I mean, you can go a little faster, but you're gonna get like mustard everywhere. It's nasty. You don't want mustard everywhere, right?
No.
It's nasty. It's nasty. All right, so I want a nice even coat. Nice even coat. Get the sides too. get the sides.
So could you use a Dijon mustard instead of the regular mustard, or is the regular mustard best?
It's just the flavor profile that you're going for. The Dijon mustard has wine in it, so it's going to have a different chemical breakdown. I would say go for it, but be careful of what the flavor combinations you use with it. I'll say if you do more of maybe a Mediterranean type of flavor profile, it might work better, but more of a Southern American barbecue, I would stick more towards regular mustard. Good question, very good question. We're gonna hit this backside of these ribs because you gotta season these, and now that we took off the membrane, the seasoning will get in there. But guess what we're gonna do as well? Here's the kicker. Score that a little bit. Give them a little reason. Give them more reason to be here. All right. All right. So cool.
Score it so the seasonings can get in there.
Get in there a little bit more. Get in a little bit more. All right. Yeah. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna apply a little bit of Lowry's, but we're going to apply it light. So there's a couple of things that I take into play here. The way that I layer on seasoning and how I portion it out so it's not over seasoned. When you smoke ribs for a long period of time, there is a chemical reaction that could make things a little bit more salty than you expected. So you got to keep in mind that. So I like to use Lowry's. First of all, hey, we grew up with Lowry's, right?
Yes.
You know, some people on YouTube.
Staple.
Hey, take a look at this. Take a look at this for a bit. Take a look. Can they see this? Can they see this? Point it up for a second. Can they see that?
Yeah, sit up. They can see
it. They can see it.
They can see it.
All right. Look, some of y'all are just hearing about Lowry's on the internets, and it's blowing your mind. We use this for a long time. So I'm gonna put this. I like to season heavy. The reason why I like to see not heavy but high. Reason why I like to season high, you get better coverage and you don't overdo it. I'm not trying to see a coating of flavor here. I know that when I do a certain interval of time going over, it's going to have even seasoning distribution. What you want. You can do these with your hands and stuff, but you want a shaker bottle, which makes this more consistently even. I'm very meticulous about.
So you don't want to do it like salt.
Nah, I mean, you get hair, you get arm hair trickle. Look, salt brings out stuff from, you know, it's like, what is the salt rolling down on?
He had it high.
Come
up,
on,
so.
man.
A little flick of the wrist.
A little flick of the wrist. So we did use some granulated garlic powder, and we're going to put on some black pepper. And this is the coarse black pepper. All right. So again, season high. Don't want to be too heavy with it. Even distribution. All right, great. Shake it around a little bit. Now, here's the kicker. Now, if you want a sweet rib, I got you. If you want a savory rib, I got you. If you want a rib that is going to be juicy, nice color, low in sodium, and high in flavor, man, we're gonna hit with some sweet Sharlene. Holla at your boy Eddie Wright, EddieWrightBarbecue.com. Black Smoke Barbecue in the house. Holla at my boy and get the seasoning. So nice. Now, what I like to do, this is the 32 ounce bag. Y'all know the ad. Y'all know the ad. So we're gonna take this and put this in a shaker bottle because I want even distribution. And since I'm going to put this on a little heavier than everything else because it's low on sodium, I'm going to go on a little heavy. So I have this larger hole to allow me to go on a little heavier. All right. And since I like to get seasoning even, and this again, I'm repetitive, I know, low on sodium, you can go heavy on it to make sure you get that coverage that you like. You know, you get a little heavy in places, go heavy with it. Go heavy with it. Now, keep in mind, this is the backside. Nobody really cares about the backside that much, but you still want to make it even with seasoning. All right, season high, season season high. All right. Make sure you get all those areas there. This is a really good rub. A lot of thought put into this thing. It's great on chicken, great on pork. Haven't used it on beef yet, but I plan to. Maybe on some burnt ends. Oh man, that'll taste good. Give you guys some ideas. Look at this color already. Oh, isn't that nice?
It is nice.
Now again, I'm going heavy on this, but y'all heard what I said earlier. I'm not saying it again.
Those little Mexican candies.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are super spicy.
That's what it looks like.
What? Yeah, I used to eat those a lot. All right, so what I want to do now is take my hands and pat it. Push that seasoning down in there. Don't worry. The little mustard's coming through. We'll tighten that up. Especially, this is not the presentation side, so hey, not so worried about that. Get your napkin again, and we'll finish it off before we turn it over. This is going on the bottom, so I mean, this is coming off anyway. All right, so let's turn it over. All right, so look at this. So one thing I want to do, let me get a little hand rubbing there, is this is a pretty fatty part. Now, I could leave it on there, but that is not going to render nice at all. Not going to render nice at all. So we are taking this down, and I'm pulling. And again, I'm cutting towards me. So hey, bad behavior. Don't be like me. Be better. You know, let your knife do the work so you don't cut into the meat so much. It's fine if you like get a little bit of it, but don't take a whole big chunk of it. And if you're pretty good, knife's pretty sharp, you can run it and run it up right here and get that. All right. We can be meticulous with it, but I think that looks good. Yeah, it looks good. We did a pretty good trim on that. I'm pretty happy with that. Some of these ugly ribs, you gotta, good Lord. You're like, what all the work I'm putting into this thing for, man? Let me wash my hands real quick again. Always wash your hands. Always wash your hands. Always wash your hands. All right. We're gonna finish this up so I don't run out of paper towel. All right, so this will go real quick. Rinse and repeat, just like the other end. So put this on real quick. Make this go a little faster. All right. We're going to light up T'Challa. I like T'Challa. Old Country Barbecue Pits. Over and under. Did a review on that thing. I gotta say, it grew on me. Because it's not a typical smoker. It's a different type of, it's very unique. It's an offset technically because the firebox is offset from the cooking chamber, but the firebox is behind the cooking chamber, directly behind, and runs the full length of the cooking chamber for even heat distribution. Yeah, I saw the video. But the way that you manage the heat, you would think because it's technically an offset, you run it like a traditional offset. Over time, you realize that you just run it like a whole bunch of charcoal and some wood, and you're great. All right, so we're gonna go back over this with Lowry's. Season high, people. Season high, season high. And go over real quick. Don't stay over that thing too long. Let's get over season.
Nice song.
Thank you. I forgot y'all were watching, actually. Go back over this. All right, do a little dance. Make a little love. Eat ribs tonight. Oh. Or tomorrow, because we're gonna let these rest. You know, the resting is very important. Just in case I don't mention that later.
Awesome.
Rib naps are great, especially to get the seasoning back in there, man. that all that moisture, you know, distribution, the flavors get to settled in, and you get that nice cut when you try to trim them. It doesn't. Hey, sweet Sharlene is great, man. It gives it a nice. It's not sweet. It's because it's health conscious, you know. It doesn't want to.
All of the taste, none of the burden.
That's right, you know, yeah. And this was developed from a young black man in the South, which considered that growing up with high seasoned food, what that can do. Yep. All that's detrimental. I mean, it tastes good. Lord, hit you later.
Yeah.
So
It tastes good though. That season is good.
this season is great, but yeah, this one way less guilt. I mean, barbecue at the end of the day ain't healthy anyway, so.
Try to make it a little healthy where you can.
Yeah, we got to keep you here longer. Make sure you get these sides. Sides are important, people. All right. And even these, you can get meticulous with it. We can. We cannot. I mean, just like,
How the end of the ribs get the seasoning like that?
ah, man. You got the seasoned stuff for it to taste good all over, right? Whatever you want to bite into, you should probably have seasoning. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, that's great. So basically, this is we're done with the prep for this. We're gonna clean up. The brush did its work. The seasoning did its work. We're gonna let it set in, soak. We're gonna take you out to the T'Challa, and we're gonna light him up. So next time I see you, it'll be out at the pit, homie. All right, everybody, we are out at T'Challa. We have some B&B lump charcoal in here, as you can see, lined across the charcoal grate in the firebox, and we are about to get some flame on this little thing here. So I'm going to put on my eye protection a little bit here, and I'm going to say a very fulfilling phrase: fire in the hole. These things pop, so I stand off to the side, as you see. I wear eye protection. I hope you do too. We're gonna get these grates, we're gonna get these coals hot, man. It's about 82 degrees outside today. I'm gonna leave the vents open in the back, and I'm going to open the heat deflector all the way. Cook this on the bottom rack. We're going to cook this about in a range of 275, 300. If it goes a little bit above 300, I don't care, man. The thing about this smoker is the way that it cooks, it likes to hover around those ranges of temperatures, and sometimes if I have that heat deflector on, it goes a little bit above 300 sometimes, but the way that this thing retains and evenly distributes heat and renders fat off of things at those temperatures, man, something special. So, gonna get these nice and hot. Ain't that a beautiful sound? Ooh, baby,
Like that fire.
it's not a real song. More like fire. Huh, huh. How it plays, man. So I'm gonna just hold this here for a second. beautiful day out here, people. Can't wait to get these ribs on and crack-a-lackin'. So after that little popping stage, it's okay to stand in front of it. What you don't want to do is get one of those hot embers to pop in your eyeball. Now, who's gonna cook the meat? And you gotta go to the emergency room. Oh shit. See? Keep your eye protection on. Here we go. Summer's over, baby. Football season's here. I'm still a Patriots fan. Even though Tom Brady's long gone, I can't even be a fan of Tampa Bay no more. Football. What do we do? I need to find a new QB and a team. I'm loyal to the Patriots, but I don't know what's going on with their QB thing. They're a little flaky, little flaky. It seems like they can't get right after Tom. It's really bad. Cam Newton. All these guys, man. Alright, so I'm going to continue to finish getting this ready. It's only going to take a couple more minutes. A lot of people cut, scene, bloop, bloop, bloop. This is all done real quick. I'll show you the whole thing, including the stuff that's popping in my face. Ow! Popping in my face. Ow! Yeah, that kind of hurt. That hit my arm. Have you ever shot like a pistol and the way that the shell discharges out ends up landing on your arm? Like, how did who designed that? That's how that felt. That's exactly how that felt. Holy crap. But you move on. So many burns later. Alright, so we're gonna let this come up to temp. This is good enough, baby. This is good enough. We'll let this come up to temp and we'll be back. Need some ointment. Alright, welcome back. We're outside now at T'Challa. We have the B&B charcoal, lump charcoal that is, running. And what I like to do, because that charcoal burns so clean, is I like to have the ribs come up to temperature, warm up, and bathe in some smoke. Some good quality, decent cleaning smoke. So what I want to do is I want to open this up, because we're not at temp yet. But what I want to do is I want to open this up, and since we're already burning so clean, I want to just bathe in some clean heat while it's warming up. I want to take this rack of ribs, and I want to move it all the way to the right hand side. The reason why I'm doing that, and actually I want to turn it this way. The reason why I'm doing that is the heat is coming from the left hand side first and moving to the right. So by the time the heat gets all the way over here, it's going to be time to render the fat out, wrap it, or whatnot. You're probably going to hear some people shouting and praise because it's football season. Alright, I'm missing the game, but that's alright. So we have this on here, nice and neat. Form it how you want to, how you want it cooked. Straighten it up a little bit. If some seasoning comes off, we are prepared to put some back on. We'll take this, tighten it up a little bit. Yep, make it look real nice. No bald spots, no alopecia, sorry. Didn't mean to offend anybody. Didn't mean to offend. Alright, so here we go. Perfect. So what we're going to do is going to let this come up to temp. Then we're going to put our hickory wood chunks on that we cut down from some wood splits. And we're going to let this thing go. So When it comes to about 250, I'm going to put some wood chunks on and I'll be back. All right. Don't go anywhere. No, for real. Don't go anywhere. Oh, by the way, I don't really use this thermometer here for ambient temperature, exact ambient temperature. I just like to have a gauge while I'm inside what temperature it is. So while this is warming up, I'm going to just periodically check my phone to make sure I'm gauging the time right to come back and check this guy. So until we meet again. All right, so our thermometer says that we're at 250 and climbing. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these hickory chunks on right there. Leave it right there. And I'm going to close this door. And we're just going to keep creeping. So what I like to do is I like to leave these vents open for the most part and close down where needed if I start to go over temperature. But it really does hold around 275, 300 very respectively, very consistently. So I don't got to worry about it. All right. The other thing is I leave these open at the start till we get to temperature, and we're gonna pull these back accordingly. I'll see you in about an hour. All right, so at this point, I'm not gonna really pay attention to this anymore. It's just to give me a gauge when I'm inside, but I'm really paying attention to the temp gauges because these are really pretty accurate. These are reading below 250, but I know it's hotter than that. The thing is that I'm paying attention to is the even distribution of heat. Let's look in. Beautiful, clean smoke hitting that thing, warming up. All right, beautiful. Let me show you how that fire is looking in there. So again, this is going to be indirectly cooking. I'll come back in a little bit. About an hour, check on it, see if it needs spritzing. And we're gonna leave it alone, let it get happy in that smoke. Check back later. All right, guys, we are back. About to put on my gloves. About to check on these ribs. My Patriots are about to play. We are running nice and clean. Now look at this here. Look at that color. Man, let me bring you in a little bit. Look at that. Now, hold on. Here. Let's look at the bottom, because it is bottom heat. It's a nice color on there, man. All right. It's bottom heat. See? Now, what we're going to do, because this is getting dark at the bottom, we're going to move it over here and we're going to change directions. All right, so we're going to change directions here and put them on the other side, because now this is the hotter side. What we're going to do is come back and we are going to just let it go a little bit more, because it doesn't look like it needs any mopping yet. I do have mop sauce ready, so I want to touch it and see the rub is adhering. Man, that is so nice. The fat is rendering so great. This smoker is really good at rendering fat. All right, so it's not dried out yet. I see a little bit of opportunity over here, but it looks like it's progressively getting more moisture out, so I'm gonna give it a chance. So we're gonna let it go for a little bit more. We'll check back in about, I don't know, 30 minutes. Man, here we go. What up, people? Back again. All right, so we are a couple of hours in. I want to show you something. Let me open this thing up. I'm gonna lose some heat, but whatever. Look at these. Look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, they're a sight for rib eyes. Oh, man. Lay that one. Look at that color. We're about to add some more flavor on here. I told you I know how to make ribs. Dog. All right, so I'm gonna be right back, and we're gonna mop. I say we gonna mop these ribs, baby, baby. All right, we're back. Got my ladle. I would use a mop, but this is a little bit more efficient, in my opinion, because who wants to keep washing those mops or getting new ones? Ugh. So, I'm gonna mop these with my special mop sauce, mustard base. Oh, sorry, that was the gloves. I didn't fart. Oh man, sorry about that. Sounded weird. So, before I mop this side, I want to turn it over because we did get a little crusty on this side. So I want to see, it's not too bad though. Bottom heat, it's not bad. So we don't want to do what we wants to do is we want to get our mop sauce, mustard based mop sauce. Recipe has been refined over the years. Gonna use this ladle and gently go over this side first. And I like to use a ladle because it's more controlled. I don't have to touch the surface of the meat, so I don't have to actually disturb anything at all. I can get the spots exactly where I want, not removing any seasoning. Alright. Let's get a good bit right here. A little red pepper flake that went in there. Alright. As you can see, this is darkened this side. This is the thicker side, so when we move this, we will make sure that the heat is going in a direction of the progress that I want it to. Well, the direction of the side that needs more cooking. So let's flip this guy. Want that and shake that around a little bit. All right, let's move this guy over. Now, as I said, to this side right here. Now, I'm gonna do it light. Mop it over here. Don't need too much. I want this just to make sure this stays moist. Then dry out. Seasoning's already set. You got to make sure that your seasoning's set before you put any type of base or sauce or anything on, because you don't want to wash off your seasoning. All that great seasoning that you trying to get on there and stick while you were prepping the meat. Smoke is hot, baby. Smoke is hot. All right. We're gonna let this go. I'll be back in another, 30. We'll put another chunk on and we'll be back running around 300 degrees. 275, 300. We'll be back, man. Man, I love me some spare ribs, dog. Don't you? Don't you love spare ribs? Like, even Chinese spare ribs? Like, they ain't like really tender, but they good, ain't they? They good. Y'all want some, don't y'all? I ain't making that today. I'll be back. What's up, good people? We are back, maintaining a temperature of 300 degrees across the board here. Even heat. Man, look at that. That's pretty dope, man. Like, I love that. Can't get mad at that. Can't get mad at that. That's what it's all about. That's what the over and under is all about. Even heat distribution, setting you up for success. Old Country Barbecue Pits, nicknamed T'Challa. And look at this color. Oh, it's still dripping off, dude. Oh man. Look at that color. I don't want to lose that moisture that's in there. But what I do want to do is I want to put some mop sauce on this part right here. Let's try that a little bit. Look at that fire over there going. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. How's everybody doing out there? Don't forget to like, follow. I'm gonna do more of these videos early and often. Going into the holidays, doing a lot of cooks on the Weber kettle. You know what? I haven't nicknamed the Weber kettle yet. What is going on with that? I think I'm going to just on the fly name it right now. Breaking news. So I called the Weber kettle the Swiss Army knife. Right? I go with Marvel characters that are black characters for the most part. Why can't I? Hey, let's call them Blade. Swiss Army knife. Just be cutting. Just be slicing and dicing. Be like, what's that got to do with Blade? Man, look. I could call him Venom, but that has no relation to like. Look, I'm just going with it. Leave me alone. I can call it what I want. Call him Blade. I want to go back to the 90s and refer to Blade Brown from Class Act. I can do that too. Stay out my business. His name is Blade now. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to let this ride. Alright, we're back shortly after. What we want to do now is we want to wrap the ribs to finish them off. And we're going to open this guy up. Here we go. We got the foil down here. We're going to double wrap. Look at that color. That's the color that we want. And we are about to pull this guy off and wrap. So let me get my glovey gloves on. Now there is going to be a little darkness on this bottom, but we're going to put a little bit more mop sauce. Look at that. Look at that. It's juicy, man. Look at that. Alright, so as you can see here, looking pretty good. What I want to do now is take one glove slightly off, tip this guy up, and I want to ladle just a little bit more mop sauce, just a little bit. I don't want to add too much moisture to this. Just want to add a little bit more mop sauce, just a little bit, to get this guy going. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Pick this up. This is what we're gonna do, baby. Alright, so we're gonna double wrap this guy. The long way, the strong way. Feels like everything's going great. Look at that. That was easy, right? Wrap these guys tight. double wrap just in case you got bones trying to get away. We're gonna leave this on here for, what are we gonna do? About 30 minutes, we're gonna check back? No more than an hour. I don't want these to get overdone, boiled, falling off the bone. I want to bite to them. So we're gonna come back in about 30 minutes and check for flexibility and doneness, and maybe we'll keep going. I'm not gonna add but a little bit more fuel to this just to keep it going. Let me close this thing before I lose too much. Talking to y'all, at least in my charcoal. All right, so let me get back up in here and let's keep it going. Talk to you on the flip side. Oh, pro tip: if you're running out of charcoal and you don't want to use anymore, and you're already wrapping, you're not going to get any more smoke through the foil, so, unless you puncture. You got other issues. So you could put this in the oven if you want. No one will judge you. I will not. Alright, I'll check you out later. Alright, we're back. It's raining outside. Why not? It always does, right? So we are here to check and see if these ribs are ready to pull off the smoker as the rain keeps coming down. If you don't have a covered cooking area, please get you one. It's worth it. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to open these up. Ooh. Alright, be careful not to burn your finger at all. Alright. These ribs look good. Let me bring you in here. What we're looking for is a little bit of disintegration. Once you see the disintegration right here, you know you are good to go. But what we're going to do anyway is we will probe for tenderness. That is beautiful. Beautiful. We're taking this off. We're going to let this rest, cool down, rest for 30 minutes, and then we're going to put it away and we're going to cut it tomorrow. So thank you guys for staying with me on this part of the cook. We're about to shut this baby down because we're in some monsoon season. I don't know where this came from. This wasn't supposed to do this today. Oh my god. Yeah. This is what we deal with all the time. Thanks for hanging with me today. See you tomorrow. Lord have mercy. Whew. See, back of my smoker is getting wet.
That's ridiculous, man.
We are back. So we let this rest for a while so we can have the juices redistribute and everything. Resting your meat is very, very, very important. It's just as important as cooking it at the right temperature for the duration of time that it needs, but it needs a long time to rest so you can get all those juices back. So what we do here is we take it, let it rest, and then put it in the fridge and let it cool down, and we take it out the next day. See how it is right here? In this foil boot. The foil boot. So, perfect color here. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm going to put on my gloves here, and these ribs are a little bit warm because we don't want to cut into congealed ribs. You know, when you have it sitting in cold, the fat congeals, and you could cut into it then, but you know, you get all that nasty stuff all over the place, and you want it to look nice while you're cutting it because you're going to plate it afterwards, right? You're going to serve it afterwards, right? So, hey. All right, so look at me go through this adventure of putting on these gloves. This is fun, right?
Super fun.
Super entertaining television. These gloves would be trolling some people sometimes.
You never know. Might be a person out there that doesn't know how to put on gloves.
Hey, Don't
You
put on
helped
gloves
them
with
today.
your hands are wet. I tell you right now, that's gonna be a nice fight for you. All right, so you can get both of these heat-resisting base gloves off of Amazon and black gloves if you want off of Amazon. What we're gonna do first before we carry this over here is we're gonna sharpen our knives. You can get this $5 at Walmart. It's a knife sharpener. So make sure your knife is as sharp as it can be. After you do that, you take a paper towel, and you don't want any shard metal on going through your meat. Put that off to the side. Actually off to the side over here, out of the shot. Then we're gonna take our ribs and we're going to stand them up. Why do I stand them up? So I can see the bones. So when you have the doneness of ribs, you should see some bones poking out of each rib. You should be able to count them, touch them with your hand, right? You can get numerous amounts of pullback, but it is important that you see a little pullback, and that lets you know that that meat is pulling away from the bone. We saw that disintegration yesterday. You see that piece right here. So, all right, so I'm gonna slice first, nice and slow. And when you cut through ribs, the way I do it right here is I can kind of see where the ribs are going because they're not always straight. So I start from the top and let the knife, you see how crooked that rib is? You let that knife guide you down. All right, so let's take a look at that. Look at that. Look at that smoke ring. Look, that is beautiful, isn't it? Yes. All right, so let me put this guy off to the side. And I'm gonna cut the rest of this side up. So let's take it straight down. We wanna get as closely even cuts as we can with these ribs, between each rib. So you don't want one side bald and the other side to have meat. All right, look at those. Oh man, look at those, are juicy. Look at the juice coming off of these. Yeah, these have been resting. It's a juicy rib. Juicy rib. There is a tricky bone right there, so we're gonna cut in between. Ooh, it's slippery. Oh, slippery. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. It's a juicer ranch. Oh man. And that beautiful color from the sweet Sharlene rub. Oh man. The rendered fat. Look at that.
That's a thick one right there.
Oh man, yeah. Look at all that nice meat on top of that bone. Oh man.
Dibs.
Give the patriarch of the family that thing, man.
Okay, fine.
It's like the big piece of chicken, you know?
You can have the big rib.
Man, really going through there. No. There's more than one, you know? More than one. You know, my favorite is that end piece because it has a little bit of that. You know, it's like the end piece of the bread is better than the end piece of the bread.
Yeah.
Maybe like the end piece of the cake.
I don't like the bunky part of the bread.
The
We're from Charleston.
bunky part.
Translation: bunky means buttocks.
So we take these back over here. Take this off, and I move this guy over here, and we cut up. Could have did that with a little bit more finesse. We cut up the rest of these. All right, so I start from the side. There's not much of a rib there, so you can get a little bit more treat there. Whoever gets that end piece.
I like that piece because I don't like to fight with the bone a lot of times.
That is true. So this one's going north, south, east, west. But that's kind of them one, right? So
He's kind of a nomad.
We try to scale it right back so we get most of the meat off there. All right. Then it gets a little squirrely down here. You know, when it gets to the thinner end, it gets a little squirrely. So you try to get as good as equal pieces as you can. That's a weird one. And sometimes you can keep it double. So we'll just keep for here double.
And you're feeling real hungry.
Feel real hungry. Give these to little kids in the neighborhood or something. I'm like, go back home to your mother. Tell her, stop calling.
What?
We're not giving to the Salvation Army anymore.
You just give the weird ribs? We give the weird part of the rib to them?
No, there's a little kid.
Gotcha.
Go play. They don't appreciate the ribs. They like Kraft macaroni and cheese. Come on now. So we can either packaging things up as a whole, and you see you put them right back as a whole rib. So if I wanted to put this back in here, just wrap it as a whole, really vacuum seal it as a whole. This is a nice presentation. We can put it certain ways of facing up, as you've seen on many of the videos. So I'll do like that. Let me show you how that presentation is. Copyright infringement, don't get at me, cause I didn't play it.
We don't own the rights to that song, but we own the rights to how we sang it.
I own my rights. I own my own rights. I know my rights. My rights is wrong. All right, you flip this guy over this way. Make it more uniform, right? Yeah. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So look how that looks. You can see all the smoky some rings around here and beautiful flavor. Look at these drippings down here. You just move that around on there, make it look real nice. Look real nice.
It's all glistening.
So what piece do I want? What piece do I want? Do I want this one?
Uh-oh.
Hey, you want that one? Take that, take that. Bad boy, take that.
Yummy.
All right, so
Good.
here we go. Over this juice ranch over here still. Look at this, man. All right, so the juice off of this, the fat rendered very nicely. You want your a little bite to your rib. Don't want it like fall off the bone. So what I'm expecting is a clean pull off of these, and man, let's just
Go on in.
Let's just go.
I think
Oh
he likes.
man. Let me tell you. The Lowry's, the pepper, the granulated garlic powder, the sweet Sharlene, and not to mention the mop sauce. All that combination. It has a sweet and savory, so it hits you with a little sweet as you go through, and there's a savory hit at the back end that gets you. That is the type of bite you want. And that is the type of bite you're gonna get. So, if you like this cook, if you like this video, hit the like button. Follow me. Facebook, Instagram. Charlie Maverick. CHARLIE Leave out the K. You don't need it. Thank you for joining me. I'm about to eat this whole rack. Racks on racks. Holla at your boy. Be blessed out there. Oh man, that's good. That make you want to do the happy dance. See y'all later.
He's still eating.
Oops. Hey. My rib. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. It's bone. Hey, Paul, you want a bone? No.
Can't have rib bones,
No.
buddy.
So good. Look at that. Look at all the juice still on it. Oh. Come on. Stop. Stop it. I can't. This is the full boat. Full boat, man. You know what's different from a full boat and a shrimp boat? Shrimp boat, you know what you get with a shrimp boat, could call shrimp boat. Full boat can get anything in it. You get ribs, chicken, a dove, a cow, part of a cow, I guess, because you need a lot of foil to make a boat for a cow. But hey, Reynolds, holla at your boy. Since you got this foil boat, I like this foil boat, and then you can't go sail with this thing because it's gonna take on water. You know, you get you a shrimp boat. It shouldn't take on water because, you know, they got regulations
and the fish warden be like, hey, you should go out there with a better boat, get you some shrimp. Cause you can't be catching no shrimp with a little flicky ass boat. You come back and the shrimp be like, man, we just going back in the water. Get
And cut. You're silly.